Hey besties, it's Lisa Marie with Crafting My Best Life with Lisa Marie. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, I love you so much. Thank you for coming back. It's great to see you. Today, I have 3 high-end Pinterest dupes that I know you're gonna love. They're more modern farmhouse, and one has a little hint of boho. I made them for a fraction of the cost, and these are for our granddaughter who had a baby, and she wanted stuff like this in her nursery. But let me tell you, it's not just for a nursery. This is high-end decor that you will like anywhere in your home. So let's get started. This beautiful wood round with the name on it and the magnolia leaves is a picture that our granddaughter found on Pinterest, and she said, I want this. And I knew I could make it for less because I looked around and I found them for this size, which is a large one, anywhere from $76 to $90+ online. So we can do this for less. I picked up this wood round. It's 1 inch by 2 feet by 2 feet. I got it at Home Depot and it was about $17 and change. It's so solid, oh my gosh. And so I'm going to use that for the first piece. I'm going to use my apple barrel burnt umber paint. You can get that at Walmart. And I'm going to water it down in a little cup here. And I'm going to use it as stain. Now, here's a couple reasons why. 1, it doesn't smell. 2, it dries very quickly. And 3, look, would you know this wasn't stained? Look at how the beautiful grain of the wood shows through. So I just put it on. I'm using a foam brush that I got a big package off Amazon. And it's a great deal, by the way. If I mentioned that I got something at Amazon and it's something that you need too, check out the link in my description box to my Amazon store and you can find all those items there. I ordered this finishing wax by Jolie off of Amazon, and I'm just going to use my really nice brush that's good for wax. My daughter got it for me on Amazon, and I'm not sure what it's called, but I think I have similar ones in my store. Anyway, I'm going to apply that to the wood on all sides and the edges, and then I'm going to get out my square, and I'm going to start measuring. I need to figure out how big my letters need to be and where the center is. I didn't want to draw crossbar lines on it, so I taped some pieces of twine and found my center while using my square so I could put a little teeny pencil dot. I used my Cricut to design the word Vivian and Renee using the fonts that I chose. You can use whatever fonts you like. And if you had sticker letters, you could do that too, but I was going for a very specific look and I knew they had it in my Cricut design space. So then I'm just transferring it directly on to the wood round. I centered the word Vivian. Then I'm going to take the word Renee and it's going to go just below and off to the right a little bit because that's how the original one looked. Now they use like wood cutouts for their words, and although I have a machine to do that, I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So I thought that the vinyl was going to be just fine, and I'm using the permanent vinyl for this. Now, one problem, because I put the wax on, the letters didn't want to stick. So that's just a lesson that I learned, is don't put the wax on where the letters are going to go. So you guys can avoid that. Normally I would add a hanger to the back, but this was pretty heavy. So we went over to Lowe's and I found this really cool picture hanger for heavy pictures. It would hold like 75 pounds, which is overkill, but I thought better safe than sorry. So I'm going to give that to them. I also found this gorgeous magnolia garland at Five Below. You guys have to go to that store sometimes. They have so many things we can use for crafting. And so now I'm going to get out my polyacrylic finish and I'm going to put that over the whole thing. And I have to do that because of the letters not sticking as good as I want them to. And I like it anyway because it does give it a nice finish. And I did not do it on the back because it's going to be against the wall, but I did put little felt rounds on there so that it wouldn't scratch up the wall while they were hanging it or taking it down. You guys, I love this. I'm so thrilled with how it came out. It's huge and they absolutely love it too. And altogether, I spent somewhere around $30, which is a lot less than $76 to $90. It's amazing what you can do if you make it yourself. So our granddaughter wanted a sunburst mirror, and my friend Allie, who has a channel called Actually Allie, made one, and I remembered it. So I contacted her and I said, hey, I think I need to make this mirror. So she gave me some great tips. Of course, I watched her video, which I'm showing you a little bit of on the screen there. I'll also have a link down to her channel and video because she's really talented and she helped me so much with this mirror. So I'm super excited. That's her finished mirror right there that you're looking at in the screen, and it's gorgeous. It's very similar to the one I made, but I did change it just a little bit. So you start off with just about 100 plus popsicle sticks. And so I did 26 in the full size, and I just cut off the rounded edges on both sides. Then I did 26 and I cut them into 4.5-inch pieces. And then I also did 26, did those at 3 inches. And then the last 26 I did were 3.25 inches. Now these are the measurements that Allie gave me. My mirror was a little bigger than hers. My mirror was a 16-inch mirror, but I made it work. Now at the Dollar Tree, you can get popsicle sticks. They're 36 in a pack, and they're, you know, kind of the big ones. Not the ginormous ones, but the big ones. And so it wasn't that bad. I only had to get 3 packages to make it work. And I used, I think it was 104 altogether. I also sanded every one of these pieces after I cut them. And the way I cut them was with my miter shears. If you have good scissors, you can do that. My scissors aren't that great for cutting popsicle sticks. I decided to use my miter shears. Super easy. They're in my Amazon store. Anyway, and after I sanded everything, they looked really sweet, and I did all the edges as well. Now they also sell these little squares at the Dollar Tree, and they come 4 in a pack, and I used 14 of those, and I left the middle open because you really don't need anything in the middle. Once I knew that the big circle would fit on it, I taped all the pieces together so they wouldn't move. What I'm really going to need is about a 1-inch border around the mirror, and that's what I'm going to end up with when this is done. The first thing I'm going to need to do is figure out the exact center of this circle. So I'm going to use my square and a level, and I'm going to come up with the center. Put a little tack in the middle of the round piece that came with the mirror. And I tied some twine to it, and I tried to attach a pencil. That was kind of rough. So I went around, you know, trying to make a perfect circle. I wanted it to be about 1 inch bigger than the circle because I wanted the wood to show. That was the whole point of that other wood. So it would be the mirror in the middle, that little wood circle about 1 inch, and then all the starburst pieces. And now I'm just tying the twine to the thumbtack, and then I'm going to attempt to tie it to the pencil and then trace all the way around, trying to keep it at 1 inch, which didn't work, so I had to do something else, and you'll see that in just a minute. Next, I'm going to hot glue all the seams of this wood so that it doesn't come apart before I cut the circle out. So my solution to getting that inch circle going around was to take a little popsicle stick, cut it into 1 inch, and then go around like I'm doing right now and just draw a line over the top and connect all the lines. And believe it or not, that worked really well. Just took a couple extra minutes, and I wish I'd just done that to begin with because it was super easy and definitely made a nice circle. When it came time to cut out the circle, I used my tin snips that I got from Amazon and a box cutter for some of the tighter pieces, and then I just took a nail file and I went around the edges. You can use sandpaper too, of course. And then I was going to try to come up with a stain. So what I did was I used a combination of burnt umber paint from Apple Barrel and warm buff. I watered it down a bit to create more of a stain. And I just mixed them together, and then I just kept testing it on some scrap wood that I had of the same color. And then I really liked that. So I ended up putting it on because I didn't want it to be different from the popsicle sticks, which were actually a little darker than this wood. And this brought them pretty much to the same shade. So you just got to play around with that a little and make it match, or you could stain everything a different color completely. But we really wanted to keep the starburst part in the more natural looking wood. Now I'm placing the mirror on the top, and I'm drawing a circle where it's going to sit, and I'm using E6000 and hot glue and placing it right over the top. That way it'll hold immediately, and then it will hold forever with the E6000. And then the back, I'm just kind of reinforcing it with some hot glue in that little opening there, and that really keeps the thing together. The next thing I'm going to do is take some sisal rope that I got from burlapfabric.com. You could use any rope, or you could use this kind of rope. Even the twine at Dollar Tree or at Walmart would work. And I'm just going to hot glue it right around the edge of the mirror because I don't want you to see the edges. I want to camouflage that with some rope, and I'm going to go around 2 times and just make sure that you can't see that at all. Now we're going to go back to those popsicle sticks. And I'm going to take the 2 larger ones, and I'm going to alternate between the 2. So I will literally just be going every other one, and they'll be next to each other, but they'll kind of start to angle around, as you can see here, because I need there to be a little bit of a gap between them, because then I'm going to take the 2 smaller sizes and I'll start on the openings and I will alternate those. Now what I'm doing is I'm using wood glue and hot glue to attach them so that there's a very good bond there. Now, before I finish off the back, I'm going to take a little piece of twine, knot the ends, and I'm going to hot glue it and put tape over it for the hanger. Then I'm going to cut a round piece of craft paper. I'm going to hot glue that right on. Now, I thought about something after I was done, and that was this is going to be hard to pick up. So I do add another little piece of rope. I'm going to cut a slit. I'm going to add another little piece of rope with a knot on each end. I'm going to hot glue it down, put the tape over it again with the hot glue, and then I'm going to fold back the pieces of the craft paper to cover it back up and glue those down. And then I'm going to cut a little piece of the craft paper to put both up at the top hanger and at that bottom piece. Now, if you want to pick it up, you can hold the hanger and the little knotted rope, because otherwise you don't want to hold it by the popsicle sticks. Even though they're on good, they're just not very thick, and that would be a definite concern. And in the meantime, I started covering up the mirror because you could just see me as a reflection or the lights, and that's no fun. Now I'm adding those other two smaller pieces and I'm alternating. Now once I get all of those on there, I'm going to go around again with some more of that sisal rope, and I'm just hot gluing it right to the edges of where the popsicle sticks are, so you never see that. I'm going to go around 3 times, and I love it because that brought this from boho to modern farmhouse, in my opinion. And I really, really love the combination of the wood and the sisal rope. I think it's so pretty. I love how this turned out. It's a very large piece and it's gonna look beautiful. Mirrors like this sell for $100 and up. And doing this myself, I paid just about $30. I really hope you like it. And here's just a little bit more of a close-up shot. Our granddaughter wanted this for her nursery, but she wanted bluebirds on the bottom instead of butterflies. I priced these online anywhere from $25 to $80, and I made it for just over $15. Pretty good deal. I found these adorable little bluebirds on Amazon. It came 6 in a pack. And then I'm using this little shower curtain ring from the Dollar Tree and a large bead that I happened to get off Amazon. And then also I ordered some embroidery hoops on Amazon. And this is the 10-inch hoop. And what I'm going to do is unscrew it and only use the inside piece. I'm going to take a nail file and I'm just going to sand it because it was a little bit rough at places. And I really didn't want to get a splinter. Next, I'm going to mix my apple barrel paints, burnt umber, and warm buff. And of course, I'm going to water down my paper towel so that I can use this almost like a stain. And I'm going to paint it on and then rub off the excess. And then I'm going to use my little heat tool from Amazon to dry it so that I can go ahead and sand it and just distress it a teeny bit because I just like that look. I've got beautiful greenery that I got from, gosh, I want to say Target, but I'm not sure. Anyway, you can get this a lot of places. And I just cut off the green leaves and I'm using some white twine from the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is thread, I have a plastic kind of embroidery needle. I'm going to thread the twine on to the needle and I'm going to feed it into the middle of the bird from the bottom and then tie a knot at the bottom and then poke the twine all the way up, and that's how it's going to hang on the mobile. So you can see I'm just kind of deciding where I'm going to place the leaves now that it's attached to the little bird. And I'm going to do 3 sets of leaves. So I want both sides to be a leaf. So I'm going to hot glue right down the spine of the leaf on one side and then take another one that matches in size and hot glue that one right to the top. And so it'll be the good sides will be facing out and the bad sides, if you will, be facing in. And then I'll add an extra little dot of hot glue on each side just to keep them together. So every little bird will be hanging on twine with 3 sets of leaves going up towards the hoop. They're so cute. This was really easy. The hardest thing of all of this was making the hole in the bird. They're kind of hollow and then it's hard to find the hole going through on the other side. So if you don't have something that's long enough to poke through, that's the hard part. So I did have to kind of rig something because my little needle was definitely too short. Now I'm just going to show you how I do one of the strands of the twine with the bird and the 3 sets of leaves, and then you'll see how to do the rest because they're all the same. can see that all of my birds are done now. And I'm going to have 4 birds hanging around the outside and 1 coming down from the middle, so 5 total. Now the bead that I had, what I'm going to do is take my plastic needle and I'm going to thread each of the strands through the bead, and I have to do it individually because they're kind of too wide to get through as a group. But I managed to do all 5 of them right through the center, which is exactly what I wanted. And then I will be able to take that and attach it to the shower curtain ring, and that's going to be what you hang it with. Now I forgot to film the part where I tied it all up, but I'll show you at the end a close-up of what that looks like. Now the shower curtain ring is clear and I really didn't want it to be, so I used the exact same paint colors that I used for the hoop and I painted the ring. I took the strands that were coming up out of the bead and I attached them to the shower ring, and then I wrapped another piece of twine all the way around the part that hangs between, and then I also wrapped it over the shower ring so that it would be very secure. And then I hot glued each strand to the inside of the hoop except the one going down the center and made sure they were all hanging evenly. You guys, I love this. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, you could put anything on the bottom that you want. And now for one last look at all 3 of these beautiful modern farmhouse pieces that I made for our granddaughter for her baby's nursery, but could be used in any room of the home. I love the Sunburst Mirror, and I just want to thank Allie from Actually Allie for helping me again, and please check out her channel. I'll have her links in the description box below. And I hope this video inspires you to look at Pinterest and try to make something and save a bunch of money by making it yourself. It's so fun. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will join me. I have a couple different videos on the screen that I think you will really like, especially if you enjoyed this one, so check them out. Thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I do want you to know that you are a blessing to me. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!